Well, here you see a collection of side scan images. I work with side scan sonar since I was a child. I mean, maybe 42 years ago, I started my work with Klein 530. It was 531, I think. So 3 channels, sub-bottom and 2 channels. 100 kilohertz was the frequency of the side scan sonar. And my boss in that time, he was had a pleasure to be trained for Gary Kozak. Me too, later when we bought a Klein 3000. But in that time, Martin Klein was at Klein, and so IPT had a very close connection to Martin Klein. Gary Kozak was so we use the Klein 531 for many years. Just I think 20 years ago, we got a digital system. So I made a collection of my experience, my own experience on Side Scan Sonar in IPT, and also image from many guys, many like Gary Kozak and many others, Vincent Capone and many guys that who use to deal with Side Scan Sonar send me image all along these 42 years. So I made a collection. Of course, most of the image are from IPT experience, my own experience, but we have also experience for colleagues from other universities in Brazil and also from abroad. So at the beginning, I set some image for basic concept on Side Scan Sonar. Most of the image here is from Gary Kozak. He was very kind, allow me to use some image from him, and also some image I myself did. Okay, just to show how Side Scan Sonar works. And you see here tables and connection, and basic concept on Side Scan Sonar technique. Okay, that's the first moment. Also Chesapeake and Klein also helped me a lot on making this collection. Okay, so you have many examples and how the image is used to be built. That's the point. And I also show here some systems. Of course, Klein was the main tool I have worked for most of my life. But I also work with Editech for 4200 and also 6205 and also 4125 because some university has this system, and sometimes I used to be invited to join some surveys. So I have experienced this system. Oh, it's really good, no problem. I showed some system here just to see some of them. There are many others on the market, of course. And then I start to show some images from myself and also from colleagues in Brazil and abroad. Okay, you see here some sand waves and rocket crops. And you see reefs, natural reefs and artificial reefs too. Here you see it was a Klein for 530, yes. Here nice examples, other nice examples. Here's from a teacher at the university, Marcelo Speller. It's a dredging area surveyed by Side Scan Sonar. Here you see some example from Japan. I stayed 1 year in Japan, and in that time it was a AG&G system. It's many years ago, more than 40 years ago, I think. It was a nice system. It's tapes, big tapes, and analog system, but we could do playback when we got back to the office. Here's a Klein 3000 at the north of Brazil, Araguaia River. Also Klein 3000 in the reservoirs. You see a lot of beautiful examples. Here is a Klein 530 example here too. And that is You see again analog. As I took this Klein 530 to Antarctica 20 years ago, and also just arrived a crew from IPT from Antarctica, but this time they took a Klein 3000 there. But 20 years ago I had only the Klein 530, so we did do 2 surveys there, one Klein by Klein 3000, another one for Klein 530. Here also analog images. We got very nice images from the Klein 530 on the paper, of course, but nice image too. Here you see also image from Klein 530. The rivers, bedrocks in the rivers. Another example. Here is some example from Finland. A side scan from China. It's a nice one too. Here is a starfish from a friend in Rio de Janeiro, Lagoa Rodrigo de Freitas. Did a survey with starfish, a small one, but in some conditions could get very nice data too. Here is a Klein 3000. Here is was the first mosaic we did with our Klein 3000. Gary Kozak followed and taught us how to operate it, and in that time it was a nice experience, nice training. Here a Klein 3000 too. Also Klein 3000, and the examples in lakes. We used to apply Side Scan Sonar in some lakes in Brazil. Rivers, reservoir, water reservoir. Here is a Editech 4600. The guys from Santa Catarina University, they have one. Klein 3000 again. A lot of Klein 3000 because it is the instrument I have worked for many years, so I still work with Klein 3000. Here another example is here also I'm involved in a project, archaeology project using Klein 3000 north of Brazil, Maranhão Amazon area. It's a nice experience, nice mosaics. And here is in the harbor in Rio de Janeiro, some example in Brasilia. Here Klein 3000, Klein 3000 too, and example in north of Brazil and south of Brazil. I choose nice data to show to the guys. Here is a very interesting experience by Gary Kozak and Liz Wolf in England. I set this image here just to show how interesting it is to analyze PATI data and side scan data, some point of views, just to compare. Here an experience, I work in Japan for 1 year, study actually there, and many years ago, and we have a EG&G system there, so this is mosaic I got there. Here it's a Klein 3000 in São Paulo. We have a lot of, here it's also in Japan, the GSJ, Geological Survey of Japan. I worked with the guys there in 1984, many years ago. It's a mosaic we did there. Here is a Klein 3000 again, a collection of data. Here is a Klein 3000 near in the harbor, Santos Harbor is the main harbor in South America. Here's a Editech 6205. It's a nice work we are still doing, still surveying with this 6205 Editech with the USP project with USP. Here it's a nice experience I had at IPT with 6205. Damon Wolf helped us a lot to complete this survey. And then I show some images. Some of these images, like the right one, I got myself. Some others I got from the Gary Kozak or Damon Wolf, Lisa, and for Klein, Editech, the sites. So I just made a collection of image from bottom surface showing boats and airplanes, and that's the point. Some friends got very nice images, so they send me, I make this collection. Here you see some interesting wrecks in Brazil and also outside. This is a Titanic image. Gary Kozak has this image, so he allowed me to. All this image from abroad, from colleagues, the name of the owner of the photo is set here, because just to be clear, some of these images are not from myself, my work. So this is this book I had, just to be clear too, is important. It's not for selling. I have no profit on this book. I did it just because I love Side Scan Sonar, and I love the image. I like very much to work with this tool. So I make this collection. Many colleagues in Brazil, mainly teachers from the university, they asked me to have a printed version. So when they ask it, I just order the system where I make the book to print. But I have I get no profit from this work. It's just for advertising. I can say advertisement the Side Scan Sonar too. So you see here, airplane, helicopter, and that's the point. Here are some artifacts from archaeology and engineering. Some of this image many of this image I have here is from Gary Kozak. So here is a work, very interesting work I did with the Klein 3000 in a bridge, maybe 300 kilometers from São Paulo city. Here is an experience from MicroArs, it's a company in Rio de Janeiro. They used to have a Editech 4125. Nice experience too, nice data too. Some examples on the cables. Professor Aires, Arthur Aires from the Federal University of Rio de Janeiro. They have a long experience on mapping for cables, and also image from Gary Kozak, and there are many images here. Also here cables, pipelines, and Side Scan is very interesting for this kind of search, this kind of mapping. Here you see some other cables and fishing structures. Also, when you look for some dead people, drowned people, Side Scan Sonar used to be a very useful tool. You see here some dead people on the bottom of the surface. And I talk a little about the news on Side Scan Sonar, because as I work with Side Scan since it was analog, I used to take like 10 hours to make a mosaic. Now we do it in 1 minute, 2 minutes. So the Side Scan Sonar, since in the last 40 years, has updated a lot. Now you have a nadir feeling, many other functions, foxing, and ultra high resolution, and many features has been applied to Side Scan Sonar data. So I just talk a little bit to inform the guys who are watching this book that Side Scan Sonar is every day updating. So that is, and also I finished the book showing some books, interesting book to read about Side Scan Sonar, about acoustic on the sea, and also reinforcing the point that it's very important to use side scan and bathymetry to have a 3D view, and also sub-bottom profiles to see how deep are going the bedrock you're watching on the surface. So to work with these three tools simultaneously is great. It's great. It's always the best solution for any project. Okay, so that's the book. We have 30 by 30 centimeters and maybe as heavy as 3 kilos maybe. And here at the back page I listed here the name of the guys who helped me to collecting this image you see in this book, and also the companies. You see some pictures of the guys who directly helped me in this mission. Of course, this book is just to see page by page. It's auto easy to understand. But of course, if I'm besides the guy, I can explain give additional explains about the pages. So the first page on the left here is I and Mr. Martin Klein. Some years ago, I had the pleasure to meet him at the Oceanology International in London. So we took a photo here. You see Martin Klein and I, and also Gary Kozak and some other artists on Side Scan Sonar is here, and a lot of friends from Brazil and from abroad too. So it's okay. It's I did it just for my pleasure to show my experience on Side Scan Sonar. I hope everybody like that. Okay, that's the point.